Hello again, and welcome back. This was a little unexpected video that I was going to do. I'm still in mourning over Ozzy Zig. I wanted to present a couple little things I had, more Black Sabbath memorabilia. It's a 69 Camaro diecast metal car, and it's the Paranoid album. I believe it's Green Light that makes this one, and the pretty nice car. And oh, and I'm on my third time reading this. It's a great book. If you ever get a chance to pick it up, read it. It is great and it is hilarious. Some of the things in this book, um, I remember reading it years ago and I couldn't stop laughing. And that's the famous little picture of Ozzy. I am Ozzy. It's a great book. But I wanted to showcase a few things. Another one is 118 diecast metal car of Christine. And this one's cool. I mean, the doors open and uh, the trunk, the hood and both the trunk open up. And it's got the spare tire, nice, cool looking engine. And like I said, the doors open. I don't want to mess it too much. Pretty cool looking. Gearing up for Halloween pretty soon. And it's got the motor's sound to it, and the lights come on. You know, the lights flash. I just forget. I forget where. I forget where the motor sound turns on. I should have had all that before I did the. This one's Green Light, and another one also by Green Light, which I think is really cool looking. 1959 ambulance, and you know the doors open, the hood opens some kind of way. The back opens up and it's got the stretcher inside. I've only taken out of the box once, and it comes with the little stretcher, as you could see, and all the other little accessories that usually go into an ambulance. Pretty neat. I could probably do toy videos and car videos and football memorabilia videos probably for years. So many things that I have with the old toys. And I want to run a couple of other ones by you here real quick. When I worked in the film industry and the music industry, I used to have a lot of opportunities to get stuff autographed or pictures and things. And I had mentioned in the previous video that I'm not an autograph hound, but if I know and the time is right and they don't have a problem with it, I'll go ahead and get stuff signed. And years ago I had met Roger Moore at an awards ceremony, and he signed autographed this action figure and a book called My Word is My Bond. It's Roger Moore's biography, one of his biographies. And this comes with the parachute the British flag. Yeah, it's from The Spy Who Loved Me. And this one of the few, another of the McFarlane line of, the music figures. And I had worked this guy's show. Actually, it was August 17th of 2016. And Alice Cooper, I got him to sign this for me. Extremely cool. What can I say? Cool guy. I saw the Welcome to My Nightmare tour on my 15th birthday, uh, June 7th, 1976. It was a great time for music. That year I saw the Technical Ecstasy tour in October of 76, October 23rd. There were so many good concerts. I saw Peter Frampton and Gary Wright that year, Quicksilver, Foghat, Golden Earring. Gosh, so many, so many good shows. And the year before that, I saw Led Zeppelin. It was the Physical Graffiti tour, and that was really fun. My best memory of it was when they played Kashmir, and those lights came on, and they had those big disco balls, and also the Pink Floyd Animals tour. I believe that was in 76, early 77 maybe. But great year for concerts. Uh, Aerosmith, Nazareth, and Foghat again at the it was the Day of Rock and Roll, and that was a good show. And they used to have it all the time. And one year they had, it was Hart, Fleetwood Mac, Bob Seger, Foreigner, Ted Nugent, Leonard Skinner, a couple other ones. Middle of summer. Couldn't remember if it was hot or cold. You just don't feel the weather. But it was in the summertime. But yeah, it was a great year for shows. And there on out, um, seen Jethro Tull, Grand Funk Railroad quite a few times, which has to be one of my favorite bands of all time. And but I just wanted to get on here and just Ozzy has been on my heart and my mind, and I just, man, I miss the guy. I really do. I miss him. I miss him. Like I said, I had worked his tour in '01 with Rob Zombie, and got a chance to meet him and talk to him, and I think about it now. It was such a pleasure. Years ago in '89, I had worked George Michael's tour, and got to kind of get close to him. And I couldn't have been a nicer guy. He was such a nice person, so generous and kind. And yeah, that's another guy I miss. I'm not gonna lie, man. I cried my eyes out when he passed away on Christmas Day, one of his favorite, if not his favorite holiday. It's just so many are gone. Yeah, I worked so many shows, and met the Hulkster, and I was kind of shocked when he passed away too. Around the same time, we just lost Lonnie Anderson, and so many. Connie Francis. A lot of people didn't talk about Connie Francis when she passed away a few days or maybe a week before Ozzy and Hulk Hogan. And she was a great singer. She did a lot of hits in the 50s and 60s, Where the Boys Are. She was primarily known for a lot of her Italian albums, her Italian love songs, and oh my gosh, it was beautiful. She had a beautiful voice, especially when she sang in Italian. It was beautiful. I grew up around that music all my life. Is what my dad and mom used to play. In the house, and a lot of good memories. A lot of good memories with music and movies. I'm so grateful to grow up in the generation that I grew up in. It was a blast. I remember uh, there was one of the podcasts of the Osbournes, and Kelly was playing a little game, and it was just Ozzy, Sharon, and Kelly, and they were talking about different slangs, from the Boomer age, Generation X, Gen Z, so on. How slangs have changed through the years, and Ozzy didn't know, about the whole boomer thing and what a Karen was, and it was just funny. It was so funny. And but Kelly asked, what did they think was their best time, and they both said, the 70s and 80s. But Ozzy agreed that the now was the best time because he was with Sharon, loved that woman. They loved each other, and I pray for Sharon too, and I pray for Jack and the kids, and Kelly and Amy, and the other kids. Matt, I believe, is Ozzy's other son. Yeah, it was just sad to see, but he's home now. Um, he was buried at the house, and going reading his book again. Uh, you know, it, it's so relatable because there was a time in my life, and my friends used to joke with me about it, that uh, I had over 100 jobs in a year. I had like a job every 3 days. The people at the employment office knew me by name. You're 16, 17, just starting out, 18. You try different things. And, Ozzy talked about his jobs growing up, the job that his mom got, uh, putting car horns together. And he's talking about the guy that worked next to him was there like 29 years and 7 months. And he, I guess from trying out the horns, he had gone deaf. And he's, he was saying, after, in 7 months, I get a new gold watch when I retire. He's like, you should just go to a jewelry store and rob the jewelry store for a gold watch. You've been here for 30 years almost. But it's really a good book to read if you haven't read it. And he talked about he had worked in a slaughterhouse, and I commend him for that. I don't think I could have done that. I had a job when I was 18. Job lasted like a day and a half, but I had a job. Man, it lasted a little longer, but I had this job making coffins, and not only did I have the job, like making the coffins, they also had me deliver the coffins to the funeral homes. And I was definitely not ready for some of the things that I had seen. Yeah, it was quite disturbing for me, a young teenager. So it was pretty horrible. Some of the, I'm not going to get into the details, but I remember I was goofing off, and the guys at this one funeral home that I dropped the coffin off to. I was just goofing off, and I'm like, "Where do y'all keep the dead bodies?" He's like, "Oh, we'll show you." And we get into this little elevator. Even the elevator was weird looking. And we get into this elevator, and the elevator was just big enough to, bring the body on the gurney and bring it up to the embalming room. And as we're going up, I'm like, man, why did I even ask these people this? And I have my head down, and the elevator door opens, and the guy is like, wow, look, here's one to greet you at the door. And oh my gosh, it was wrapped in a sheet, and it's just something I'll never forget. I'm like, get me out of here, get me out of here. I just want to go down. I just want to get back downstairs. And he's like, oh, look at this, here's another one, he's dressed and ready to go. I'm like, please get me out of here. So yeah, that job didn't last long. And right after that, I was still kind of disturbed from working that job. And a few days later, um, I remember going to get the paper, and as soon as I opened up the paper, I'm like, oh gosh. I had mentioned it in the first video that I have on here, something that happened to me some years ago. And but anyway, it was the Jonestown incident. And as I'm reading the story, and I couldn't believe what happened over there and what they did. And on top of the you know casket, it was called Crown Casket Company. And on top of that job, and then what happened at Jonestown, it just kind of threw me off a bit for a while. I guess I'm just sensitive to that kind of stuff. But uh, anyway, yeah. So I could relate to Ozzy with all the different jobs. Believe me, until I finally settled into myself and started working, in the film industry, working in movies, um, doing little roadie work on concert tours, and did some modeling for a while, and started doing that, stuff like that. And also worked many years in the hospitality industry, hotels. I opened nightclubs for a while, worked in casinos, and uh, lots of really nice nightclubs, big nightclubs that I had opened, and managed the clubs, bartended, all kind of different jobs through the years. I had a chance to buy into a cab company once, and I bought two cabs, and I drove one, and I rented one out. And you buy the number, and at the time, this was the early 80s, and at the time, uh, the number for the cab wasn't that much. It was like $2,500. You buy the number for the cab. Now, in New York at the time, I know that it's called the CPNC number. And in New York at that time, CPNC numbers were going for $1 million. And but they were like $2,400 with the particular company I was with. It was a radio dispatch cab. And uh, so I drove one, when I wasn't in school. I would drive one, and uh, rent the other one out. Or if I wasn't working in a film, or working, a concert or something, I'd drive the cab. And oh gosh, yeah, I think of that HBO Taxi Cab Confessions. Heck, I've never seen the show. I know of it, but oh my gosh, some of the experiences I had driving the cab, and it was good money. What I liked most, I loved to drive when it rained. I used to clean up. I used to make so much money, and I liked driving in the rain, so it made it extra fun. But yeah, it was great. made a lot of money doing that. But yeah, I just wanted to jump on here and show you those few things, and I'll be making more. Like I said, hit the subscribe button and like the video, and as I said, if people like my content, I would be more than happy to deliver more to the masses. Hopefully, the masses. So again, keep Ozzy in your prayers, and the family, the Osbourne family, and the Hogan family, and Malcolm's family, and everyone who we have lost recently, or anyone who was lost. Keep them in your prayers. And I want to say good night.